be too deep. I think I'm dying here, man.
Welcome to the 3B Video Deep Cut Podcast.
Watch a few movies, take a few notes. It was fun.
Aw, yeah. It's that time again for another bi-weekly podcast with your hosts, Rotten Roger DeMarco and...
Bitch, if you don't think I ain't making a mental list of all your fucking bullshit, this is evil. And you see anything you like?
I do, actually. Which is going to be a fun hour podcast because here we are, again, 2 weeks down, another entry in the franchise, but yet again, it's another timeline, another reboot, another direction.
What's the title of the movie we're doing today?
Halloween.
Oh, we did this one. We're already ready to go back to our beginning of this franchise, and you'll just listen to that. That's exactly... we already did Halloween. Well, why are we doing Halloween again?
Because this is Halloween.
I don't get it. What's the difference? What could possibly be so different between Halloween and Halloween?
I guess we're going to have to get into that.
Wait, who directed this film?
Robert Zombie?
Oh my god.
Yeah, we're going to get into this. I have come to really, really appreciate this version. I actually probably put this horror movie in general in probably my top 20 horror movies of all time. So, it's very divisive here. I can see it on the other side of the screen as I look at Evil. And I'm going to do my best to kind of get you in my frame of mind. Let me ask you a question I already know the answer to. Did you rewatch this leading up to this podcast?
Of course not.
Why not?
I don't really need to. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing that it's that memorable or infamous that only a few times. I don't think I've watched this since our long Halloween we did a few years ago where we marathoned the franchise. I don't need to get to this one too often, nor the one that follows this one up. I'm just like, I'm never in that mood to be like, you know what? I want to watch Rob Zombie's version of Halloween today.
Wow. Well, I'll make the case for this one, and then in 2 weeks, you and I can both ride the train to Hateville. But
or like ride the white horse.
Yeah, no. But as far as this movie goes, Evil, you already pretty much hit the nail on the head. But do you want to give the good folks out there in internet land a brief plot synopsis, and then we'll just get into it?
You just take the formula from the original Halloween movie and you really just add a whole lot of meth to the fold and you replace suspense and subtlety with a sledgehammer.
Nah, I'm gonna disagree on a little bit of that, but I'm with you. So, all right. So let's just jump into this. The thing that's so polarizing about this movie, right, is that we do. This is a very long Halloween film, and the first act, or essentially the first half of the film, is dealing with Michael Myers as a child. Yeah, and that's where a lot of the gripe comes in from a lot of horror fans, in my opinion, is they don't want to know what makes Michael Myers tick. Like, they're just so anti that opener. But, I've talked to other people where as soon as it switches to just a remake of Halloween, once Michael has escaped, they're more on board. So I'm curious what is it for you that just makes you go, I don't need this?
It's a handful of things. I'm not really a fan of a 7-foot tall Michael Myers. Like, that should be Jason's realm. Michael should be could be the fucking dude that's your plumber. Or, the mailman kind of thing.
He's 6'8", to be fair.
Okay, well, we'll put shoes on him and give him an extra 2 inches, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And they're platform shoes. I don't even think Rob Zombie's too hyped on even making a Halloween movie. It seems like he was way more interested in making the first half of this movie, which, I mean, if it's not in the 70s, he's not really interested in doing it at all anyway. Or
right,
sooner.
It's his aesthetic, for sure.
And my biggest thing is I always use it as my example is we have the scene where Michael busts into the parents' house. And it's a really cool shot. I'll give him it's a cool shot of when he blows into the door and the door just shuts and you just left with stillness outside of the house. Where I would be fine with it is if we left there. But we don't leave there. We have to go inside the house and see every blood-curdling strike hit. And
you don't really see any of the strikes. That's very psycho. It's very subjective. When
we see
come
too
in,
much of it.
You just see blood, and you see Dee Wallace kind of begging for her life. She gets her neck snapped, which is a very simple not.
But the whole, what do you want? No, you can't have her pointing at the pictures and shit. I would have just not shown anything of what happened in there. You leave all that shit for when Scout Taylor Compton's character discovers it.
I gotcha.
Same with the bully getting killed. You could just flash to the bully just beat the shit, dying on the ground instead of seeing every single whack with that fucking stick that we get. Even though, it's the kid from Spy Kids, so him being a bully is kind of ridiculous to me in the first place.
And Green Inferno. You see his penis. But, and that's where I got to disagree with you a little bit. I think you're super jaded on this movie, and that's why I want you to give it another chance, because over the course of this new quadrilogy, the new timeline, the things that you tend to really like Halloween Kills, they don't hold back on any violence in that film. That film is violence in your face, and it's non-stop violence. In fact, there's only maybe one off-screen kill, and that is Little John, So,
difference is it's not fun here.
I think it is, though. That's the difference. Is I feel like this movie is fun, but it's also grimy. So, it captures...
It's definitely got a film to it.
Yeah, it captures, the tone of the original Halloween, but it's cranked up and it's rusty. That's the best way to describe the tone of this film. Is
butcher
rusty.
Knife isn't freshly grabbed out of somebody's kitchen. This is one that was in somebody's shed that they used in 1962.
For sure. So that's what I'm saying, man. I feel like if you go back and you rewatch this, some of the things that you were so overly critical on back in the day, I think they're more acceptable now, especially after David Gordon Green bastardized the Halloween franchise, which I can't.
We'll flip sides here in about 4 episodes or so.
Yeah, I can't
I'll
wait.
be on the other side of the coin, and you'll be in my shoes.
Wait to get to everything wrong with all of that business, but
we got to talk about everything wrong with this business.
That's true.
First, which I was. I'm sure you had the same opinion when you heard that the recasting of Dr. Loomis with Malcolm McDowell. I was like, oh, well, that's intriguing.
That's good.
Again, with the first half of the movie, I think he's fine. And then he kind of turns into a more shitty version of what we described the original Dr. Loomis to be like. This guy goes from kind of being a sympathetic character to he more or less becomes the same guy being like, yeah, you're referring to one of your patients as evil and wrote a book called The Devil's Eyes.
Yeah, well, I think that this version of Dr. Loomis really explores I guess the reality of the situation. I wasted 15 years of my life trying to fucking deal with this idiot. He is a bad person, but I wasted my life. So how can I get back wasting my life? And
profit.
Exactly. And that's 100%. That's so fucking real. That's so fucking grounded in reality. It's not even funny, dude. So his character arc, to me anyway, is very believable. And you're right. He starts out being a somewhat sympathetic character, but by the end, you're kind of a piece of shit, dude, which is what I think, some writers try to do, but I think Rob Zombie is excellent at writing gray area characters. gray area characters, you know, whether you want to debate the whole white trash aspect of the film or not, but like real people are gray area. You know, they're not like, I wear a Letterman jacket, so thus I must carry a football and only refer to football. Like, you know what I mean? Like, gray area characters work as strippers and date bad people and try to raise their family the best that they can. You know, like, that's a real life person, albeit cranked up to 11 because it's a Rob Zombie movie, but still more real than half the characters in the David Gordon Green universe.
I definitely don't think I could put William Forsythe's character in any gray area realm. Maybe just the tone of his hair and clothes, but other than that, like, what?
I'm all broken up over here, bitch. I can't work.
What a piece of work. Yeah, what happened to him? Where did this come from? How long has he been in the picture? What did he do to get injured? That's what I kind of am curious about.
I'm assuming construction. Seems like kind of a construction guy. Which I love his character because his character is so fucking terrible. Absolutely terrible. And I just, like, it fits to me a little bit with that Creepshow vibe of, like, Tom Atkins being a piece of shit. But this is, like, piece of shit not in suburbia, you know?
I mean, Tom Atkins, just had some beers and slapped a kid around. This guy is talking about skull fucking somebody at the breakfast table.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just white trash. It's just cranked up to the rusty Rob Zombie level.
That's why this is where the meth edition is included. I was kind of disappointed that Sid Haig didn't have more to do because Rob Zombie definitely has a film family that he likes to reuse a lot of people over and over. And I was like, all right, where's Sid?
The gravekeeper.
Yeah, he's just the caretaker at the cemetery. I'm like, I wish we'd got more out of him. I would have, fuck it, go all out. I don't know why you didn't make him the Dr. Loomis.
Oh, God, I don't know if that works.
Why not? Why wouldn't that work?
Sid is good, but I don't think Sid is a great actor, you know? And that's the difference between Malcolm McDowell and Sid. Like, if you listen to the dialogue that Sid has in Rob Zombie's Halloween, it's a little stiff. Like, it's not I don't know, like, super believable. It doesn't come across like 100% genuine. So I think I would have a hard time of him being like a distinguished doctor. You know, he's like
distinguished doctor, but I would have a hell of a time watching him just rambling about the devil's eyes in front of a giant projector screen.
Yeah.
Like, look at this motherfucker right here. This is the devil's eyes. Some bitch. So you don't like the backstory stuff? Is that like, I know you don't like you really don't like the white trashing of it, and you don't like the amped up gore because it doesn't fit with the Halloween franchise, like, or the Halloween. Doesn't fit
tone.
for me. It doesn't feel fun. I would be all right with the white trash meth family if it was something different, but it's something I'm more like just counting down the minutes till I see it in a Rob Zombie movie. That's literally the only reason I'm super curious about this Monsters thing, is see how fucking hard it falls flat if it doesn't have all the tropes that are Rob Zombie kind of, it's his DNA. He has to make something that takes place in the 70s or at a 70s as fuck soundtrack, and it's got to be just smash you in the face, over the head, messy, violent shit. And you're not going to have a good time watching it.
See, a few weeks ago we talked about Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers, and how that's kind of like even though that movie's a muddy mess, how like I really lean into that movie because Michael moves fast, Michael is bulky, Michael is scary in that movie, and I think, you know, I had discussed like that was during the Jason Voorhees drought, so like Michael became my new Jason Voorhees. So I think that's part of why this version of Michael Myers is so acceptable for me, is because, boy, does it not. It feels very Jason-esque, like fast, angry, like intense violence. And that, you know, misses the mark of the subtlety and the suspense of the original Halloween, but it gives new audiences what they wanted. Like, this is torture porn era.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's, I feel like it has its place and it's good, but I really understand why people don't like it. But I will forever be in the camp of this first one knocks it out of the park for me.
And it definitely, when it switches over to the Shape Michael Myers story, it gets the interest level drops a bit further, and it really drops for me when we get to the smashing through the ceiling sequence. When he's like just poking through holes in the ceiling. I feel like that's where it's like I'm not paying it. Even in the theater, I distinctly remember going, I am just not paying attention as much anymore. Like, wrap it up or do something else. Like, this ain't working for me. This is pokey in the ceiling.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. Well, I mean, so the thing about that final act...
It's like ending fatigue there. Like, just wrap it up. We're done. Like, come on, finish it. Like, quit dragging this. Like, and that just felt like it went forever.
So what I like about that is, he subverts your expectations by making that first hour about kid Michael Myers. And then, once Michael has escaped, we kind of kick into, oh my God, this is a paint-by-numbers remake, down to, dropping off the keys, to doing this, to babysitting, to, Laurie getting stuck babysitting all the kids, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's fucking paint-by-numbers. So it kind of lulls you into this, like, oh, I've seen this before. I'm comfortable. I'd like to see what is new, what is different, but I want it to stay the same. And then, midway through that finale, it changes and it gets, you got this cat and mouse scene. So to me, like, I really like that because you don't expect that to happen. So when it does happen, you're like, wait, this is new. What's going on here? Like, at least that's how I feel about it.
Well, and also, being that we're doing a split story of an origin and then a remake all in one movie, our focus is entirely on Michael Myers. It is maybe at a close second with Loomis, and he kind of drops way the fuck out the picture when you get into the second half of the movie, which I was like, where is he at?
Yeah.
And then, we're only given half the time, even though it's a long fucking movie, we're only given half the time to try to get invested in new people. So I'm also not really clicking 100% with our new set of ladies, with Scout Taylor Compton and Danielle Harris. I'm like, oh, she's from the other ones. She's back in it playing somebody else, which, oh, the man, is that got a muddy, more confusing lines up. Like, it's a remake, but she's from a few other ones, but those ones don't count, and she's a different character.
Right. It really confuses the casual watcher, I'll tell you that, but we were forged in this fire, god damn it. So let me ask you this, Evil. Scout Taylor Compton. Yay?
Yeah.
Nay? Eh?
She's fine, but, I mean, I don't have enough time to really care as much.
Man, dang. See, I really like her in this movie. I feel like
she's okay.
Yeah,
I don't
she does
mind
a really
her.
good job. Yeah.
Danielle does fine.
Christina Klebe does fine. Yeah.
Yeah, the new Linda, like, she's fine, but we don't have as much time with them as I feel we did. I mean, we were more or less with the other girls. I mean, mostly Jamie Lee. We had time to kind of get to know them a little bit of background. This, at least, for me, is like, well, I know what they're supposed to be playing. So I got that, but I'm not really, like, this is a Michael movie. This is not we're not following the victims and what happens, to them. It's, the focus is shifted to, this big tall motherfucker is who you need to be focused on, not these characters so much. These are eventual victims.
See, and that's a little bit with the, like, even though it's a reboot, remake, whatever.
It's a whatever the fuck Rob Zombie made.
Right, but by this point in time, audiences had come to just 100% expect to see their villain more than, it's that weird era where people don't care necessarily about the victims. They want to watch the monster. But I feel like Rob Zombie does. I feel like all those lead characters get the same amount, if not more, screen time than the original 3 ladies did in the original Halloween. Because there are some added scenes, like, her crawling through the attic and getting, that 2x4 shoved at her, or, different scenes with Linda and her boyfriend, or whatever. Like, there's a little bit more. There's a little bit more meat to chew on. But I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying because after that first hour, there is a slight fatigue in the movie where you're like, okay, now we're getting started. It's like it's like a really slow roller coaster.
Okay, so where is your opinion then on the Danny Trejo character?
I don't mind Danny Trejo.
Okay, I'm more kind of... I know we don't mind Danny Trejo. Any movie is amplified tenfold by adding Danny Trejo to the mix.
Right.
Spoiler, see Clerks 3 to see that. Be put into proof in the pudding there, but I'm more talking about the demise of Trejo's character, Ishmael Cruz.
Oh, dude, I love that. I think
Really?
I think it's important to have in the movie because it lets you know that it isn't like a nature versus nurture type of thing. Like he's just bad. So despite like,
but we were given so many reasons why he is bad. Like this is what he wanted to do. He wanted to give us a whole fucking half a movie to explain why he is this way.
Yeah,
and people that are kind of deserving of it in any mild way, we can understand. What did Danny Trejo do?
It doesn't matter what Danny Trejo did.
But it should matter because we've been led to believe it should matter up to this point. That there should be somebody left alive because he does do that shit. He does that shit eventually with Lori.
But why does he kill cats, dogs, mice? It doesn't matter. He's a psychopath.
Well, those things don't have real souls.
So the point is, no matter what you think, like if you think you're being a good person to, I think that it's kind of like, it doesn't matter what good deeds you're doing. And like if you think you're forming a connection with him, because a psychopath is a psychopath, right? Like Ted Bundy had friends, fucking Jeffrey Dahmer had friends. He fucking killed them, like that's just how it is. Like, your perception of your relationship with this person is just your perception.
I'm in the camp of like he should have let Ishmael go, and of course we couldn't get Ishmael just like quickly, dispatched anyway. No, we got to watch. It feels like like a logistic full drowning of his character, and then smashing a TV on top of it. Like just do the TV thing. And quit doing all this other stuff. Like that's where it's like it's not fun. If he just thrown the TV on him, that'd have been kind of fun. But no, we got to go through an entire washing his face in this fucking mucky water. I was good to you, Mikey. I was good to you. And like this goes and goes and goes. Well, and like, okay, well the fun sucked out of this shit now.
Sometimes I think it's it is fine and dandy to have someone get stabbed in the stomach and fall down. My example is David from fucking Friday the 13th Part 7. Done. Done. Over, easy, fine. But other times, I think it's important to hurt someone on camera. And I think it is important that hits something visceral in the audience. Like, fuck. And like you said, it's not fun. And I think that's the same reason that we would all fucking gather around and watch Faces of Death when we were, pre-teens or whatever. Like, oh my God, gotta look at this. Like, this is fucking gnarly. Like, it's that same thing where you're like, sometimes you want something that makes you go, fuck, I'm uncomfortable. And
this movie is it.
And Rob Zombie is very good at that. Like, it hits all the beats of the original Halloween. But like I said, it's just rusty. It is the 70s exploitation drive-in version of Halloween. Like, and the only...
I'll leave that original Halloween and I'll feel creeped out like what could be around any corner. I am not creeped out or anything walking out of
grossed out.
Yeah, maybe
I
a
feel.
shower is in order, but that's about it.
So, and I will say this, as far as the drive-in exploitation tone of this movie, there is one aspect I could do without, and the theatrical version let me do without.
I know where this is. I know where this is going.
Is his escape, is Michael's escape from Smith's Grove. In the theatrical version, we have the Devil's Rejects. We have Bill Moseley. We have Tom Tolles. We have Leslie Easterbrook. And they're transporting Michael. And Michael breaks free from his chains and kills them and escapes. And that's a fun scene. They're the whole fucking, like, they're in their break room drinking coffee, and then they get called that they got to go escort him, and Bill Moseley has that line. He's got the gum in his mouth. He goes, "Trick or treat, baby." Like, it's so good and fun and perfect. It is a perfect fucking scene. And then, to my dismay, when the movie came out on Blu-ray and it was the unrated director's cut, that scene is gone, and there's a fucking rape. There is a fucking rape of a mental patient in Michael Myers' cell.
There's the metaphor for the entire movie formula. Like, we could have had this kind of fun, but no, we have rape.
See, and rape is where I draw the line when it comes to that exploitation, just style of cinema making. Like, I can have fun with gratuitous violence. Like, I want people to get hurt, and I want to watch them suffer when they're dying on film. Like, I feel like that, sticks with you longer than just, like I said, a quick stab or a quick choke. But rape, I'm always immediately like, I'm not having a good time. Like, so, I definitely prefer the theatrical cut of this film. Unfortunately, that's almost fucking impossible to find. I try, and I still don't own it. So,
I'll have to look to see which version, if I have the option for either one on the Blu-ray. I think on the DVD I had, which was a Blockbuster bought DVD, which is right in a line where I would, as much as I wanted to pay for this movie, was about $3.
So that was going to be one of my questions to you, was I didn't know what version you had of this. Did you have the DVD or Blu-ray?
I have the Blu-ray. I had
2-disc special
DVD,
edition Blu-ray?
But I'm pretty sure I gave the DVD away once I picked up that Blu-ray collection of all the movies. Which, man, I'd been fine if they just stopped before we got to these two. They could have left those last two off, and I'd been like, this is a pretty good set. I don't need them.
So, is your Rob Zombie's Halloween, is it the 2-disc special edition Blu-ray?
No, it's just the one. Because they're stacked up they're compounded, kind of like the Nightmare on Elm Street Blu-ray set.
Gotcha. Because I was going to say, as much as, like, this is how I sway you. From a filmmaking perspective, how I sway you into appreciating this movie more. Like, I know you don't care a great deal for House of a Thousand Corpses. You're middle of the road with, like, Devil's Rejects, but you pretty much, like, take or leave Rob Zombie. I know you're not a fan, per se, of what he does. But here's how I get you, is some weekend when you and I are together, I'm going to bust out my 2-disc special edition of this movie. And there is a second disc, and it is a 3.5-hour making of documentary.
That's why I think you're swayed into the Rob Zombie camp. Is I don't even think you're excited to get the movies anymore that he makes. You're more interested in a true passion lies is in the triple the time of the movie making of thing, just following the filmmaker's journey.
Well, I'll tell you, like, it's awesome because in this documentary, they go through all of pre-production, including, like, sketching out the wardrobe, getting the wardrobe made, building the sets, finding the locations, aging the locations, the line read, and then they go through each day. Like, it'll be like, today we're shooting this scene, and this scene. And then they'll show, like, some of the behind the scenes of each of those scenes. And it really, really makes you go, like, this is fucking solid. Like, the problem with when someone remakes a movie is 9 times out of 10, it is solely driven by a monetary gain. Like, oh, this has a built-in fan base. We know that if we market it right, we're going to make our money back tenfold, blah, blah, blah. But when you watch a 3.5 to 4 hour making of, and you see that every single decision is done with like a ton of love and care, and like, oh, if we shoot it this way, it's an homage to Suspiria, and if we do it this way, it's this and this. Like you feel like you're in the hands of not only a competent filmmaker, but a real fan. And I like that makes this movie so much more palatable and digestible for me, is seeing the real like passion behind making it, and not, you know, just a bunch of yes men following Rob Zombie around going, oh yeah, white trash, yeah, that's great. You know, like it all kind of has like a place. And as much as you and I both love special features, I think sitting down and just like making a day of it, like we do with like Crystal Lake Memories or the Halloween 25 Years of Terror or whatever, like it'll sway you. And I think your next viewing of the movie you might like it a little more. And I just want to be there for those things.
You wait for your "I told you so" moment, be like, aha, I've got it.
Well, no, I don't want to be like "I told you so," but I mean,
no, but you'll take it as an internal accomplishment.
Like, we just, as fans of films, we grow into things, we grow out of things. There are movies that we liked when we were kids that we aren't necessarily fans of now, or we poke a lot of holes in
Biodome
now. So yeah, but we're looking at you. We have chippies. We have lots of things to eat.
Biodome was a real world shaker for me. That was a movie I would have brushed my teeth to at age of 12, and then rewatching it in my late 30s, I'm like, I would have smothered both of these guys in the middle of the night.
Kill these guys.
I would have killed Pauly Shore and Baldwin and buried them in the fucking desert land of the Biodome.
Yeah. Yep, no doubt. So that's all I'm saying is, I know that opinions vary and opinions change. So I want to expose that documentary to you, that making of to you, just so you got it in your back pocket.
Even if I've got all the appreciation in the world for what he does, it's still not a single one of his movies are ones I can put on before like 10:30 at night.
You're not just going to get done with this podcast and go throw it on? Because I might.
No. No. It's a way after dark. It's definitely like close to the midnight hour movie, because cursing ain't really a problem in the house. It's not something that is monitored. I feel like, man, like this is just not one that ever gets past the bill. And I'm like, you know what? Later, we'll just do this later.
Yeah.
So
I was going to ask you. It doesn't
have a lot of time it can play, and it's every movie is the same in that aspect for me. Like, not a one of his. I probably have seen not a one of his movies more than I would say 5 times total.
Damn. All right.
For any of them.
All right.
And we own all of them. I was
going to ask you.
The wife has insisted we own all of them, and she's like. And she's more or less in the same boat. Like, I don't really care a great deal for him, but I've watched all of his shit, and minus the Munsters, we own all of his shit. Mm-hmm. Explain that.
It's a sickness. It's the same reason I have to buy Halloween Ends. But I did want to ask you, speaking of Halloween ending, the ending of this film, to me,
yeah.
Like, if Rob Zombie had not made Halloween 2, and we're going to be brutally honest, in 2 weeks when we do Halloween 2, that was for monetary gain.
I don't even think he even wanted to do Halloween 2. Nobody wanted to do Halloween 2.
No. And so, but the ending of this film, it's pretty definite. You know what I mean? Like, because we established Michael is a normal person and he's a crazy person. So when he gets shot in the fucking face, it's over. Like,
yeah,
agreed? He's dead?
He's dead, and she's gone mad.
Yeah, 100%. We all go a little mad sometimes, man.
But she's going to stay in Mad World for the rest of her life now. She's going to be living early Michael Myers' life. She is part of that family. Mm-hmm. What was her name supposed to be?
Oh, god damn it. You had to fucking ask me.
Yeah, because I had it, and then I totally lost
Angel or some shit?
Yeah, like Angel Myers.
Yeah.
Fallen Angel.
Whatever. Yeah, but the fucking ending to this movie is absolute. Like, it's a very satisfying to me.
It's more absolute than Myers getting his fucking head chopped off in H2O. I don't know how that is, but it's more definite here.
Because it's so violent. Like, when that blood hits her in the face, you go, yeah, he has no face. Like, he had a 44 Magnum to the point blank to the fucking noggin.
Blow your head.
Dude's head is
off.
It's a fucking canoe, okay? Like, it's over. But
canoe.
Yeah, it's gone.
That's
dude.
That's a good one. That just painted a visual in my head that's like, oh man.
Yeah, he have no face.
Talk about the one time I wanted to see the brutality. I would have loved to have seen that canoe face. And it's the one time we don't show the fucking brutality in this movie.
Yeah, god damn it. So that way you can come back in the sequel a couple years down the road. But that whole finale too, with like her falling into the pool and Loomis fucking unloading on Michael, all of that stuff is really well done.
And Loomis, I thought, died the first time I watched it, when he gets his eyes like crushed. Like, I thought, okay, he's dead, and then he's not dead. I'm like, what?
No,
wait, what?
Bring him back. Yeah, you got to bring him back. I do want to say this also about the final act of the film. I love that some cops come to the rescue, like when Lori and the two kids are like barricaded in the bathroom. Man, I'm telling you, like, the whole finale of this movie to me is like white knuckle awesome, with Michael just shoulder checking through doors and like ripping off screen doors. And then I
beating the shit out of topless Danielle Harris, which,
yes,
man, if I didn't give my brown panty to Danny Trejo, I'm gonna give it to Danielle for really going all out and just getting the shit beat out of her topless. It's not like, ooh, she's topless, but it's like, man, to get the shit beat out of you is one thing. To get the shit beat out of you half nude, I feel puts it on another spectrum.
I'll give my brown panty award to Christina Klebe, who gets, she gets
all of it out there,
choked with the phone cord. But
probably the last movie where someone is choked with a phone cord, because that's not a thing that exists anymore.
Yeah, that's true. They are a thing of the
past. What's that wire hanging off the end of her cellular phone?
I don't. But man, I'm telling you, there's a lot of redeeming things in this movie, and that's I'm gonna get you to notice them, to take appreciation of them, because I feel
even if I appreciate it, I'm still probably not going to watch it too often ever.
I don't want to call you a hypocrite, because that's not nice, right?
Go ahead. Where am I hypocritical at?
Well, no, I was just, because I brought it up at the beginning. Like, the things you like in Halloween Kills are the things you don't like in this Halloween. So that's why I'm saying, like, if you revisit it, it may have eased into your palate a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, but if not, that's totally cool. But like, I feel like we've become more accepting of a brutal Michael Myers. So, the opinions of us, like, when I saw it in theaters, I liked it, but I hated all the kid stuff. And now that I'm an adult, I like it all across the board. I like it all. And I don't even like that Dag Farrig kid. That kid's a fucking weirdo, but, and a SoundCloud rapper.
And somebody that I completely forget. I forget entirely. And I don't know how in the fuck I forget him every time. But I never, ever remember that Brad Dourif is in this fucking movie. Brad Dourif plays
so good.
A forgettable role to me. And I didn't think it was
forgettable.
Possible. Yes, because I never remember that it's him and that he's in the movie. Until I'm literally going through cast people in my head being like, yeah, this person's in it. This person's in it. I was like, fuck. Oh, yeah. I always forget.
He's Brackett.
Brad Dourif is it. Yeah, he's Sheriff Brackett. But I'm like, he doesn't, for me, come out swinging like Brad Dourif always kind of does.
I'm telling you, in my opinion, which is just my opinion, this is some of the best acting Brad Dourif has ever done in this movie and in the sequel. He's the best part of the sequel, and I'll get to that in 2 weeks. But like, dude, he's so good in this movie. He blows Charles Cyphers out of the fucking water. Like, Charles Cyphers ain't shit compared to Brad Dourif, and I'll fucking die on that hill.
Well, Charles Cyphers wasn't like a great sheriff anyway.
Right.
Dude couldn't
You
smell
let him out?
Dude couldn't smell that fucking pot-filled car that his daughter's in. Like, really? You're the sheriff of this town?
I'm sure he could smell it. He was just letting her get away with it. But
that's not helpful. Although the one character that is memorable that I always think of, probably first and foremost, even Cult 45, the podcast, made it their honor. Like, we have our different achievements and awards. They have given the Joe Grizzly Award during their podcast because Ken 4E, man, does he have a memorable character role, even though it's fucking scene. It's supposed to be in the current time, but it still feels like we're in the fucking 70s with his haircut and the soundtrack going on. But Michael's got to get his fucking new, what is that? I keep on like uniform, that jumpsuit uniform, unitard. He's got to get his clothes from somebody, so he's going to steal from Ken 4A while he's taking a shit.
That's a new paint job. Don't scratch it. Ken 4E steals the show, kills it in this movie. Strong motherfucker. Just a top-notch scene.
Burrito
which,
Supreme
again,
talking back at me. Summer'll be a while. And we've all been there. And truckers don't take shits like regular people do.
No.
They just bend over and explode. I used to be friends with a guy that worked at a gas station / like one of those trucker stops. And several times he had to clean the bathroom. He's like, dude, there was shit on the ceiling.
That's fucking insane. You're looking for some kind of action. You better take it on the arches. Again, Rob Zombie has a film family. You already, hit the nail on the head with that. But every person that's in his film family, they don't do half-ass shit. Like, Ken 4E had a fucking blast in this movie. It's apparent. That whole sequence is fucking incredible. And David Gordon Green kind of steals a little bit of that violence when he does Halloween 2018. But again, it's better in this movie. It's better.
Or did Rob Zombie take it all the way back and steal it from Halloween 4? Because we got gas station shit going on there too. But
it's all off
Or did
screen.
they steal that shit from Halloween 3 where we have a gas station that comes back in the beginning and at the end of the movie? Oh shit. There's a thing with gas stations in this franchise.
There really is. Yeah, you got to have a mechanic jumpsuit, so you got to get it somewhere. But I love every scene in this movie, dude. Like, there's nothing when I watch it that I go, I could do without that, or I could do without that. Which I know you're on the exact opposite side of the fence.
Yep, I'm a Bob Shea, like, cut this scene, cut that scene.
Yeah, get this out of here. And I think that's like I hit on, I think 2 weeks ago, where I was saying, like, you and I are sort of the exact personification of the Halloween fan base, like, just right here between the two of us, because there are movies that you absolutely love where I'm like, I could deal with, I don't really need it, like Halloween 5. And this one, I absolutely love it, and you're like, it's too much, So
and the difference is we record it and discuss it. At the end of the day, that'll be it. I have not put Raj on a death list. And
I was going to say, you haven't threatened to kill me.
Well, I don't need to listen to his opinion on anything else ever again, because he's clearly wrong about the Rob Zombie Halloween movies. So how could he be right about anything else in this world?
Yes, because that's how it should be handled in real life, but it isn't. Because on the internet, people will be like, you should die because you like that. And that's fucking crazy to me. And, it is what it is. And like I said, if you watch the making of, or you rewatch Rob Zombie's Halloween and you're still like, not for me, you know what I mean? Like, then it's not for you. Like, that's just how it is. Although I would love for it to be for you, so we could talk more about that, loving the stuff, but I get it. I totally get it.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll switch places in about 4 episodes, and we'll see what happens there. Spoiler ahead for that, but
also, one of the things that I really like in this movie, which I feel like Rob Zombie kind of knocked out of the park, and this is one thing that's kind of universal with filmmaking. They say, like, don't work with animals and don't work with kids. You know, like,
or
it's
outside with the
stressful.
weather.
Yeah, all things that are extremely stressful. Let me just say that the 2 kids in this movie that Laurie is babysitting, they are phenomenal. They are amazing kids. I feel like they're so real. Like, they're, you know, there's that tinge of disrespectful know-it-all kid, but they never cross this line of like, well, I'd like to see them die. You know what I mean? Like, they're still kids. They're still innocent. They're still sweet, but they're assholes because kids are assholes. But it's not like a, God, that, like, they need to die asshole. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I kind of forget about them too. I just only remember Tommy because he dresses up like Otis from House of a Thousand Corpses. Like, oh, okay.
It's not appropriate babysitter behavior, Laurie.
That's not appropriate. That's dangerous.
Little hashtag
Dumb
Jeff
Jeff
Fahey. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I love those kids, man. And I feel like this movie, to me, does that aspect a little better than the original. Because in the original, even though Laurie is being pursued by the Shape, I never really feel like those kids are in actual danger, you know?
No.
But in this movie, I am scared for those kids.
After Danny Trejo's incident, yeah, I don't think anything is going to survive.
Yeah. Well, and then, you know, Michael, when Laurie does that whole scene where she has to get across the street and the door's locked and Tommy lets her in, similar to the original, which they're both equally suspenseful and paced perfectly. But once Michael reaches the door in the Rob Zombie version, because in the original he comes in through the window and Laurie stabs him with the knitting needle, but in this version he comes right to that door. Like, there's no breath of like, ha, I'm in, I've got the door locked, I'm safe. It's like, I'm in, I've got the door locked, and he's still right here. Like, he's on their ass, and both kids are like, holy fuck, and it's terrifying, dude. Like, say what you will, but that shit is fucking on point, dude.
Yeah, but this Michael Myers, I feel, would pull like from Friday the 13th the game. He would just walk. He'd be in rage mode. He'd just walk through the fucking door, through every wall in the house, straight up some Jason shit. That's what I liked about Michael. Is I'm like, well, he's a smart, slinky guy. He's not a Neanderthal. It's gonna just crush through door. Like, he would find a way to slip in there. He's the only thinking man slasher.
I'm with you a little bit on that, but I like me some brute, you know? I mean, you can have a combination of intelligence and brute force. So are you not a fan of Tyler Mane as Michael Myers then? Is that what I'm getting?
As a person, I met him. He's fine, and I got his autograph from this movie, like, because I'm not really a fan of him and X-Men, so I was like, well, it's either this or that, and I guess I'll take Michael Myers, I guess. So, you know, he does an imposing character. He's a big fucking guy. We had a great picture with him and me facing off, like, just so you could see the size difference between the two of us. So he does fine. He does fine, but it's just not how I would want Michael Myers to be. Would somebody give him the Jason role? Let him take a run at it.
But see, here's the thing: Tyler Mane is tall and skinny, so he is he is slinky, right? He's not like beefy.
He's beefy enough.
But I will say this: when I met Tyler, because that was 2014, you and I both met Tyler. I took him this movie, obviously, but I also took Troy, which is one of my all-time favorite movies, and we talked about him working on Troy. And I think, like, that kind of bought me a little bit of a little bit of a bonding, because we were talking about...
I did the same. I only just went the wrestling aspect, because I was like, oh, you had a wrestling career. I did not know about the wrestling career. Tell me about this shit. That's interesting.
Yeah, so we kind of hit it off when we were talking about Troy and working out in general and all of these things. And that led to me hanging out with him in the bar for like 2 hours, and he was just talking about real world shit. Like, he was sitting there drinking a soda, because I don't think he was drinking alcohol at the time, and his kid was giving him a hard time via text, and I was like, aren't your kids like scared of you since you're so fucking big? And he's like, dude, I'm just dad. Like, they don't give a fuck. No one cares that I'm 6'9". Like, if I ask you to clean your room, you're still going to leave. Like, you're going to leave and tell me you did, and then I'm going to look later and find out you didn't clean your room. Like, so we just kind of had this, like, father talk. We were just talking about our fucking kids. It was super cool. But I think he does a fine job. But again, definitely encapsulating that Jason Voorhees machine. It's almost
language.
Just, real angry, fast machine of a man. So if you like that kind of Michael Myers, you can't go wrong with this one. But if you don't, I get it.
Well, speaking of being divisive, here, how about we swing into my camp a little bit more?
All right.
And some folks who tend to agree and not really care a tremendous amount for this movie, and so much they went to the Zon to give it some unos thought reviews.
Hated it.
All right, first up is Amazon customer. So, I'm gonna give it to Pepe Silvia.
Ishmael, whatever the fuck.
Ishmael Cruz. On May 27, 2022.
Woo!
1 star. Rob Zombie sucks.
Jesus, there's a lot of S's on
A
there.
lot of K's too. I don't suck. What a letdown.
Tire airing out.
Was excited to see a new spin on Michael Myers, and damn! I guess I should have known it wouldn't be great given Rob Zombie's body of work. These movies make Halloween 3 through 5 seem amazing in comparison.
So 3 and 4?
Also, his wife is so annoying in everything she's in. I like
gotcha.
that. Also, fuck Sherry Moon Zombie.
Yeah.
To go along with
Why
that,
she gotta be in everything?
I mean, to go along with that, from Robert A. O'Neill on December 14, 2016, he says 1 star. We get it, Rob. Sherry Moon is your wife, and hellbilly horror is so extreme. This is a prime example of how a terrible director can ruin a classic story. I mean, how hard is it to get it right? You basically can just remake the original. But no, we get 55 minutes of poor whiny Michael with Rob Zombie's hellbilly horror twist. Ooh, what a genius. It's basically trailer trash screaming shaky cam and gets Rob to show off Sherry Moon's boobs. We get it, Rob. She's your wife, but damn, I'm even sick of looking at them. Thankfully, the studio told him, no, she can't be Laurie, and instead she's Michael's stripper mom. In the end, it's the same old tons of awful dialogue, followed by a crap story, followed up by screaming and screaming and screaming to the point that your head is hurting. Then gore that's not even used well, and you get a slow, whiny, unwatchable Rob Zombie Presents Halloween. And it's just as bad in now 2016 as it was when I wasted $12 to see it in the theaters. Still bitter about $12.
Yeah, hey man, that inflation, right? I will agree on some fronts as far as the Sherry Moon zombie thing goes.
I think everybody's on board with that.
Yeah, and I could not imagine her being cast as Lori. So I hope that's just him being joking. As like, I hope that wasn't like ever in the cards.
Oh, I could buy that shit.
She's 46 years old trying to play a fucking 17-year-old.
He casted a prequel to the Munsters and cast her as the lead. So
yeah. Well, and also he cast Danielle Harris as a fucking teenager, and she was like 38.
Yeah, but she's
my least favorite part of this movie.
She's as tall as a 13 or 15-year-old, though.
It's true. It's true.
So I don't mind Danielle, but I mean, a little goes a long way.
Haha, because she's little.
Next up, we have Karen Bodrab on Halloween night 2021. One
Excellent.
star. Regret purchase. Since this is iconic and I had not seen it, I thought I should rent it. I was shocked at how poorly written and ridiculous acting. $1.99. Regretted.
Regretted. I think you accidentally got Rob Zombies and not the real one. That would be enough to upset you, you know, because she refers to it as a classic. So I mean, I was trying to watch the classic Halloween and I clicked this one. So if you ain't ready, I get it. I mean,
all we gotta do is give this like 4 years and it'll be at 20 years old.
That's fucking bananas to me.
So it can hit classic by that means.
This came out what, 2007?
07.
Yeah, early 07 or summer 07.
I don't know when in 07, but 07.
Because this was one of the movies. So to kind of put in perspective, I married my high school sweetheart and then divorced my high school sweetheart in fairly rapid succession. And this movie was one of the first movies that I went to the theater to see alone. Like, don't need a girlfriend or a wife. Like, I'm just gonna go. And I went alone and then met up with buddies. But like, I drove to a theater by myself, which was weird. It was like, I hadn't done that ever. Like, because I had been with my wife or girlfriend.
Always somebody with you, though. Like, parents are with you, then a significant other's with you. Somebody's always there.
Yeah, so then, like, to drive there by myself and then be like, well, my friend said they're gonna meet me here. It was just a weird thing. So, like, it's forever in here, like.
Oh, I get you.
Yeah.
So, is one of your net handles Catchu2?
I don't know why. Does it say something good about this movie?
Well, on August 28, 2019, Catchu2 says 1 star. Rape scene in this version. This is the director's cut.
Too much rape.
This is a director's cut, which is not stated anywhere. This version is much more explicit and includes a rape scene, which is not in the DVD version. This should absolutely be stated in the description of this movie. All other movies that are director's cuts include director's cut to the right of the title at the top of the screen. This is completely unacceptable on Amazon's part. 59 people found that helpful. That's probably a record for...
That is good.
Yeah. Normally 3,
I must
4.
avoid the rape.
This dude's like, Amazon, you fucked up.
Beware the rape.
Beware the rape. Next is Grant Johnson on October 20th, 2021. 1 star. WTF.
WTF.
Open the box just to find the special features disc inside.
Woo!
So by those standards and by Rogers selling me on the bonus features, that's a win. That's a 5 stars. He got to bypass the movie and just see the good parts, the making of.
You get a 3.5 to 4 hour documentary, man. Like, be thankful.
Be thankful.
Be thankful. That shit's dope.
Next is H Mart. May 13th, 2021. 1 star. No, just no. I hate scary movies. I don't know why
That's it?
Yeah, that's it. I don't know why you'd buy it.
I didn't. Whoa.
Coleman Vetter on May 26th, 2021. 1 star. I didn't buy this, but Amazon charged me anyway.
Had a sneaky kid come by.
I'm gonna buy Halloween. The shit I'd be doing, like we talked about, like if we were eccentric millionaire shit we would do. The wife's like, oh, I'd leave massive tips whenever I went out to eat. Like, I want to find random folks' addresses and just mail them the same movie every week for a year.
I'm just mailing Tapehead to everyone.
You have 52 copies of The Wrestler now on Blu-ray. Enjoy,
dude. If I was a millionaire, I straight up would just like I'd go through the phone book and I'd mail everyone a copy of Tapehead and be like, now no one can pretend I don't exist. Everyone has one.
So once this podcast really takes off, that's what we're gonna do with the money we earn from it, folks. That's just so you know.
Yep.
Betsy Dune, May 21st, 2019, 1 star. Please remove rented on accident. This was rented on accident by my 3-year-old granddaughter. We did not watch it. Please remove it from my bill.
Halt. Good luck.
Betsy the grandma and the 3-year-old watching Rob Zombie's Halloween.
I've told you stories of when Tyson was little with our tablets, right?
Oh, yeah.
They fucking just purchased, like, in-app purchasing.
Oh, yeah.
Hundreds of dollars of shit, and you're like, well, I can't get that money back. Like,
I guess we own all this now.
Yep, thanks, buddy. Appreciate that. I remember he did that on my PlayStation 3 one time, just bought a game because it was linked to my fucking bank card. It's like, it let me download it. He was like 4. I'm like, well, it let you download it. Did you have to say, like, I agree and then click, like, purchase? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah.
Amazing how that works.
That.
You handed them virtual coin and they gave you a virtual game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why whenever one of these days, all my old, like, tablets, phones, and stuff that I just have in my possession, I'm just going to have a burning, smashing party because I don't trust to them just being dealt with any other way than, like, we're going to soak them in a bathtub for, like, 6 days to make sure that nothing works on them.
Tomas, the crackhead that I have to deal with, you don't want him swinging by and picking up any of your
No, I'm already
electronics.
I'm already dealing with enough credit card fraud at the moment. I don't need to add any more to that shit. All right, next we have Cat.
All right.
Catman, January 15, 2018, 1 star. Vulgar. I turned it off after about 15 minutes. The abusive family situation seemed like a horrible idea to me, and it was so disgustingly vulgar, I wish I could have given it a 0 rating.
Ooh.
So he didn't get past the breakfast scene. He's like, nope.
Damn. All right.
Next is all Teresa on December 19, 2018, 1 star. Horrible. Disgusting. Horribly. Poorly done. Don't waste your time or soul capacity.
Whoa. Soul capacity.
Yeah.
That was my band's name in high school.
Soul capacity.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Next is old David L. Nash, August 4th, 2018, 1 star. Buyer beware. Amazon makes it entirely too easy to purchase by accident and makes it extremely difficult to impossible to cancel.
These motherfuckers.
That's 2 people that have mistakenly purchased Rob Zombie's Halloween.
It happens, I guess.
Deborah A. Lynchard on Halloween night 2018. 1 star. Want to refund.
Thought this was the new one.
Vulgar beyond toleration. That should go on the fucking cover of this movie.
I love that. That's a good one.
Not worth my hard-earned money. Refund. Yeah, that's great. Vulgar beyond toleration.
What was the shit from 2 weeks ago? What was the fucking prestigious
worldwide? Oh,
Rob Zombie's prestigious Halloween.
Yeah, like holy shit. Prestigiously vulgar beyond toleration.
Yes. Says that on the spine. Doesn't even say the movie title.
I want that in bigger letters than the actual title of the movie. Halloween.
Please,
vulgar God. Beyond toleration. We should just make a movie called that. Vulgar beyond toleration.
I love that, yeah.
And to wrap up the Amazon 1 stars for Robert Zombie's Halloween is Julie Tuck on November 3rd, 2016. 1 star. Way too sexually graphic, and I don't like the rape scene.
Oh,
why?
That's good.
Why take a classic scary movie and turn it into this? Way too sexually graphic, and I don't like the rape scene. Very disappointed.
No mass rape, please. I think the whole world can appreciate that. No rape.
That scene is vulgar beyond toleration.
It is. I don't think that the sex scenes in this movie are, they're not Jason Goes to Hell gratuitous. Like, that's a whole different level, right? Like, these are okay. I don't feel like, I know you said, like, this is kind of an After Dark movie for you.
Super.
But I don't feel like these sex scenes, like, they don't drag on. Not even like the Friday the 13th remake, like, that sex scene feels like it's 10 minutes long. It's almost uncomfortable where you're like, Jesus fucking Christ, somebody, okay. Like, I'm good.
Okay.
But this one is like a couple of sex scenes, maybe 15 seconds a pop, and they're not like, oh yeah, you know what I mean? They're not like fucking crazy like that.
I'm gonna shoot.
Shoot. Oh, MacGruber.
Yep.
Right there. Nice. All right, so that's the end of the Amazon 1-star reviews, huh?
I think that's more than enough. That's a fair amount.
Now that we're done with that, Evil, what does that mean?
It's time to get down to the nitty of gritty, and it's time to play the game.
It's time to play the game. Time to play the game.
It's all about the game and how you play it. I really don't know what else to say, Michael. You haven't said a word for 15 years.
Christ, that's almost as long as my last marriage.
Christ, that's a lifetime. It's nearly twice as long as my last marriage.
There it
Wow.
is. God damn it. Oh, boy.
I was going to do that entire thing, and that whole first line just fucking wrecked me. What else to say? You haven't said a word for 15 years. Well, fuck.
Son of a bitch. Well, that's right. It is time to play the game. And if you're new here, welcome. And you're probably scratching your head asking yourself, what is the game? Well, the game is a deep cut in and of itself where you have to pick a prop from the movie that we are covering, but it cannot be a well-known prop. So since we're covering Rob Zombie's Halloween, you can't say you want Michael's mask. You can't say you want his coveralls. And you can't say you want his butcher knife because those are all low-hanging fruit. So like Evil loves to say, you gotta go deep.
Or do it with the mask on.
Oh, yeah, baby. I want to make my face uncomfortably sweat while I hump you for 46 seconds.
I want to breathe my own breath in sweaty latex.
Yeah, it's almost like waterboarding, but it's...
This is the first step of 5 steps to where he's wearing a gimp suit into their relationship. Like, that's where it's going to end up.
I got him.
I wanted to do the sweatsuit cocktail.
No! We don't. Even hearing that makes me want to fucking throw up, dude. I can watch every stunt in the Jackass movies, but when we get to there, I just fast forward.
Every one of the movies has at least one that I have to just like, yeah, I'm going to skip that. I think the first one, it's the paper cuts.
Yeah, that one's gnarly. So certain things, certain bodily fluids, I'm okay. I'm done. But I suppose, Evil, since I really like this movie, I'm going to make you go first.
Well, that works fine because I had to think of some backups because I thought for sure you would pick, you would know what my pick would be. Do you know what my pick is? Knowing my history,
I don't know, maybe.
Knowing my history of things to take.
Underwear? Clothes?
No, more traditionally.
Joe Grizzly's truck?
Oh, that'd be cool. Nah, my first thought was like, I'm going to take the dead cat that's in Michael Myers' backpack.
Motherfucker, that's mine!
Nope. Yeah, well, you fucked up and made me go first, so then you need to pick some other shit on the fly.
Oh, fuck, yeah. I was all about it. I was like, man, that is a decent dead animal
That's
prop.
that's a good dead cat prop. I mean, a lot of shitty dead dog props, but time for a dead cat.
Yeah.
That's changing shit up.
That's real good. Okay. Son of a bitch, dude. Yes.
I mean, I can give you the cat, and I'll go back to my traditional bits, and I'll take Daniel Harris's Letterman jacket.
Nah. You can have the dead cat. What I'm gonna take is Ronnie's prop cast.
Oh, Jesus.
Boom. Suck it.
I would just want some of the duct tape that he was strapped to that fucking chair in. You know, you got to be fucking lit
Hammered
to get that much duct tape. That was a good genuine laugh. Is like you think he's duct taped to the chair. No, he is duct taped. Like that was a whole goddamn roll of duct tape on that chair, and he didn't hear or move an inch.
Yeah, he's hammered.
Like it's right there with like when they tape Red in Pineapple Express to that chair with duct tape, like in between each finger. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna flex a bust out of this.
Nope. Game over. Yeah, no, he's super fucking duct taped to that chair. But yeah, I'll go with the cast because when you watch the making of, they've got a couple of them, and I think they're rubber or something, and he can just fucking slide them on, slide them off, and there's a couple times where he's like, I can't find my cast. Where'd I set that fucking thing? So like, yeah, I'll take one
William
of them.
Forsythe's a fucking goober too.
I love him so much.
He's cool, so it's hard to hate him, even though he does a really good job of being a very fucking hateful individual in this movie.
Oh yeah.
But it's like, it's William Forsythe. He was a cool, like, laid back customer when we got to meet him.
Yeah, and super like not a big guy, but on film he looks like a massive dude.
He looks pretty fucking average, like in size.
He's like my height. He's like my height. I've got a picture with him, and like
dresses silly though. I love his like middle of the summer, and he's got like a t-shirt, shorts, like Marty McFly vest and a beanie on.
Yeah.
Like what?
And
like he's getting ready to go on a fucking fishing trip.
Flip-flops too.
Yeah,
But let's
like-
not forget that his shorts were fucking cut off sweatpants.
Yeah.
So and I will never forget and I've told you this, when we met William Forsythe, we had got to the Crypticon Hotel 2 days ahead of time. And my wife and I are just kind of walking around like hoping we're going to bump into celebrities. It was our first convention ever. And we go out front, and like a semi pulled up, but it didn't have a trailer. It was just a little white semi, and it was clear across the Ramada parking lot. This dude jumps out, and he's got a fucking case of water, and he's wearing that blue vest, that fucking stocking hat, those flip-flops, and I go, that's William Forsythe. And my wife goes, that's a fucking trucker. He literally just got out of a semi. I said, that's William Forsythe. He walked all the way up to us, and he's like, what's up, guys? And like we just stood there and had a conversation. And I like after he left, I was like, I fucking told you. From like 200 yards away, I'm like, I know that guy.
Which is weird because like I went there and like my only other go-to I could think of off the top of my head was talking about Deuce Bigelow, male gigolo.
I got a thin dick.
What do you think of this? And completely forgot that he's like the brother with John Goodman in Raising Arizona. Which, if I would have thought, oh yeah, that is him, like wicked fucking young, I would have talked to him about that because I love Raising Arizona. Have you gotten to that yet?
Not yet.
I know it's one of the ones that has somehow you've avoided in your days, but I know it was coming up. You were going to watch it, and I was like, I'm curious to know what you think about Raising Arizona.
Yeah, we still haven't got to it.
You need to watch that today instead of Halloween 07 again. You'll have a much better time with that.
I believe we'll be editing Tapehead today. All depends on what time my wife gets back, so we can kind of formulate a plan. But let us know your prop pick via any means necessary, our Discord, our Patreon.
Mail us a letter.
Yeah, whatever's clever. Get a hold of us. Let us know some way, somehow, what you pick for your prop. And I suppose we should probably get going because, after all, there's a lot of movies out there and somebody's got to watch them. So why not us, right?
These eyes will deceive you.